Alright, today we're having a look at Mousing Around by CatatonicAlex. Alright, so here we are in, I am going to make haste. We are here in Mousing Around by CatatonicAlex, and oh yeah. Fudge! Okay, that was all me. Right, so there was like a fairly, wait, yo, that was gray, that was not hot. Should I just jump over this? I guess. Right. So, there was a fairly long kind of dialogue bit, which is cool, and I liked it. That was my fault. I'm so... Oh, no! No! I skipped the dialogue bit so that we would have lots of time to play, and I don't want to get... I don't want to get dead. I don't want to get caught in load or... Wow! Those are... I don't know, those meatballs, those are spicy meatballs. CatatonicAlex had put this up on the Reddits. Hey, kids, put your stuff up on the Reddits so I can find them. Which I, like, super duper appreciated. And said, hey, first level, please take a look. And, I mean, not to me specifically, to anybody. And I asked, hey, would you mind? And, he said, yeah, yo, go to it. And I am so happy. I love the fact that we are using an old school Creatinator instead of a, like, blow dryer, because the Creatinator's got it in spades. Nice. Whoa, that was not expected. No, I'm liking this level a lot. I almost said I was loving the level a lot, and I am. So I don't know why I walked it back to like, because I definitely do. I like this a lot. This is neat. Yo, okay, so like, at what point is that not dangerous? Also, like, why do you have spiky weeds in your kitchen? I don't know. I'm not familiar with Mexican kitchens, and my own kitchen is filthy. Well, okay, filthy is probably too strong a word. Oh, I love this dancing mouse. It's got a chef's hat. But look, I don't have those in my kitchen. I ain't got stuff like that. This is so cool. This level is just neat. Now, I do believe that CatatonicAlex has had some kind of issue with profile corruption, and hopefully that's not gonna mean that we fudge. That does not mean that we lose him as a creator, because this is cool. I want to see more from him. First time level, and this is what he puts together. This is like, wow. This is not my first level. My first level was kind of poop from a butt. And by kinda, I mean it was. It doesn't exist anymore, and I kind of am disappointed by that, because I should have that as, you know, so people could see that everybody starts with crummy levels. But then here comes CatatonicAlex, is like, I didn't start with a crummy level, I started with a great level. This is so cool. I love the, oh, crumbs, we're gonna have to go back to the hub and talk about this, but I like it, it is good. But we'll see you there, see yas! And we're back, and Mousing Around by CatatonicAlex, and I would say, even considering that it's a first level, it's really solid. It's a really nice green circle level here. It's something I definitely feel like I could recommend to players. I think they'd have a really great time with. It's an awful lot of fun, and just kind of shocking that, well, shocking is a bit of a strong word, but it's surprising that it is such a strong level from a first-time creator. So that was super cool. CatatonicAlex, like, you knocked it out of the park. With this one, what we've got is very much what we saw in the first impression section. You've got like kind of this semi-story based platformer based around the Creatinator, and I love the fact that the Creatinator was, first off, that the Creatinator was used and not a power-up, like a created power-up that we would see in LBP3. There's a certain charm to the Creatinator, and it's like a lot easier to use, I find, than a lot of created power-ups. So like, thumbs up to that. Nice old school feel to it. I super appreciated it. But you've got the level, and it's really entirely built around navigating with that Creatinator. Like, you're going to be using it a lot. You'll be putting out the floors that are on fire. You're going to be using it a couple of times with like obstacles and interactions where you've got to get those flywheels spinning around so that something will drop down or something will pop out of the wall. And so like it gets a lot of usage. It really has a purpose in the level, and I super appreciate when we get that. We've got a little bit of that story there that's presented early on with a really nice puppet. Now, y'all know that I am a fan of puppet work in LBP3, LBP in general, and I do love seeing it on display, and we've got that chef whose name I forget, and I apologize, doing the dancing around and waving his hands up, and like, that's all super cool. I really appreciated it. The one fly in the ointment there, and it's something that I come back to, and I've always, it's always stood out to me, even in the before, is that they refer to you specifically as Sack Boy, and I hate that. Just make it Sack Thing. Just make it Sack Thing, or Sack Kid, or Sack Person, gender neutral. I would love it, but okay, so that's a very small fly in the ointment. As far as like design of the level itself and progress of the level itself, and I think like it's really fair. It presents challenges in kind of a rising format where things do get like a little bit more difficult as you progress on, but nothing that comes out of left field. It felt like nothing that was, you know, too hard for where it was. I could see people, and we also did struggle a little bit with those launchers, the meatball launchers early on, but that's definitely a me thing where I have a hard time seeing where things are in layers. It comes up quite often. I really don't think that that's a problem with that hazard itself. We get something similar later on in the level, actually just like a little bit after where we finished up in the first impressions play, where you're going through a fridge, and there's some skeletons they're spitting ice cubes at you, and those are similar hazard to the flaming meatballs that we saw earlier on in the level. It's made a little bit more difficult because there's some kind of, you know, I'm guessing like a broadcast chip thing where it's nerfing your run a little bit, like it slows you down on that section as though you're losing momentum on ice. It wasn't too hard to get through. It wasn't anything like I really struggled with, but it's like a step up in hazard from what we've seen previously, and I did really like that. I love just like the decoration and charm of the level. I feel like the material sets are really well chosen. I love that we've got like a lot of like dancing mice going on, and like mice in the background there giving a little movement to the level. I feel like in some sections, like some of the wallpaper bits were a little bit like underdeveloped. I feel like maybe just a little bit of decoration in those areas to kind of break things up a little bit, because you got like these wide sheets of materials, but like it's not really necessary, I don't think. Like it's not really a strong point against the level, just something that could be done in that section. I like that we've got some nice simple enemies. I never let one of them kill me, and I should have probably done that just to gauge what the hazard level was on those, but I like that they were there. They were cute. You got little mices in there that you can kill either by hopping on them or creating them to death, and so that was cool. Trying to think like if there's anything that I didn't like about the level, and there's nothing like I hated about the level. I do think that it's really strong. The only thing that might like stand out to me just a little bit on the negative side is that you've got the flaming floor bits, right? And you're putting them out with the Creatinator, and most of the early part of the level and in the mid part of the level, like once you put them out, they stay out. Okay. But then you get into a bit where like you'll put them out and they can come back on fire again. And what I liked about that section is that it's actually like a different material that's being used for that, where you've got like these tile bits. Early on, you put them out and they're out completely. And then when you get to this section where they'll come back on fire again, and they're wood bits, and that kind of like makes sense. Like the heat is hot enough that it reignites the wood, and you know, so they're not out permanently, and that was cool. Like I could kind of differentiate those things in my brain. But then you get later on, and you've got like gray tile floor bits, and they're not like on, off, white, and black like we see earlier. They are just straight gray, so they're kind of different. But like they're not the simple brown wood that we see earlier on, and those also will come back on fire again. And it's like they're consistent in that section, so you're gonna pick up on it. It's not like really gonna throw you for a complete loop, but I do feel kind of like, because they're sharing a mechanic with the earlier just brown wood bits that will come back on fire, that maybe those should have just been brown wood bits. There was no real, it didn't feel like there was a thematic reason for the change in the level where they needed to be gray tile. I think that would have worked just fine. Brown wood, and then matching, those mechanics will match up as we see. Something that I kind of pointed out in the first impressions, but made more sense to me later on. I initially thought that you would be using the Creatinator to cool down the hot stovetops so that you could run across them when they're on their own cycle. It's not like the Creatinator is having any effect on those. Now, that is actually, there is a visual indication to that where you can see that the knobs are turning on and off if you pay attention. It's kind of easy to miss. It's not a thing that I feel like needs to be changed, but it's just like, it kind of feels like the setup of, here's the Creatinator, it's supposed to put out fires, the very first thing that you see is something hot, and it feels like it should work there, even though it doesn't, but I think that might just be player expectation, and not really an issue with the level itself. I love this level. This was so cool. CatatonicAlex, I really hope that you put together more levels. I would love to see more work from you. If this is the level of, like, skill that you're giving us right out of the box with your first level, I can only imagine where you're going to be like 5 levels down the line, but I do hope to see it. And I think I've said pretty much everything I can about this level. It's great. Give it a shot. Take a look at this creator, because I think we might have a new strong creator on our hands. But that pretty much does it for us here, this go about. So from me, Isco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.